pitfall of the plain reading of the English text. Here we go. In Matthew 4:13, there is a statement quoting the Old Testament. I've got the passage here coming up in a second. Leaving Nazareth, came and dwelt in Capernaum, blah, blah, blah. 14, that it might be fulfilled, same Greek word, fulfilled, which was spoken by Isaiah the prophet, saying, 15, the land of Zebulun, the land of Naphtali, by the way of the sea beyond Jordan, Galilee of the Gentiles, the people living in darkness have seen a great light. On those living in the land of the shadow of death, a light has dawned. This is a quote by Matthew from Isaiah 9:2. Now you'll notice in that previous passage, 14, that it might be fulfilled. Same Greek verb as in Matthew 5:17. Here it is. I've written it in Greek there. Now, this is going to show up better in the PDF, but here's BibleWorks. I know you all can read that because you all have supervision, and that's what it would take to read that. Okay, but this is that passage, and here I have put an arrow that points to the Greek verb, and here's the thing that you need to know. Greek verbs have a voice. It's either active or passive, and in this particular case, this Greek verb is passive. Let's take a look at what that means. That it might be fulfilled. Remember, we're answering the question, how did the Protestant Christian scholars all come up with the right answer? This is how. Here's the Greek word. Fulfilled. Freiburg, my man. Passive voice. Of a set span of time. Complete. Reach an end. Fill up. Only passive in the New Testament. It's not passive in other writings. Okay? Be fulfilled. I want you to notice there, of a set span of time complete. What have you heard about the law when somebody will say, well, Yeshua in 5:17 saying, I didn't come to destroy the law, but I came to complete it, the set span of time that it was supposed to run, it was going to reach an end, and that's what I'm here for. This is it right here. This is the definition. This is where they got it from. Oh, but wait. Matthew 5:17. Do not think I've come to abolish the law of the prophets. I have not come to abolish them, but to fulfill them. Same word. If this Greek verb is also in the passive voice, then this translates to, this is my translation, I have not come to abolish them, but to allow them to reach the end of their set span of time, which is exactly what you hear all the time. Up, BibleWorks. Here's 5:17. Here's the Greek verb. And oh, look! It's not passive voice. It's active voice. Let's go back. I have not come to abolish them, but to fulfill them. Greek. Freiburg, passive voice. No, it's not passive voice, it's active voice. When the verb is in the active voice, what does it mean? It means to give the true meaning to. All the Greek scholars saw it. And that's why every one of them said, he's given the true meaning to the Torah. They all said the same thing. This is why. But unfortunately, 2 billion people in the world who claim Christ in some form or fashion all think the Greek verb is passive. Actually, they don't think that at all. They've been told by somebody else what it means, and it happens to match passive. And I would submit that let's just go low and say how many people have heard the call and are coming out of where they were and are starting to walk this walk. Let's go 10,000. You know that's low. Let's say that 1% of that 10,000 even know that a Greek verb has a voice. Even know that a Greek verb has a voice. Does 100 people know that? No. That's a question. That's 1%. But 2 billion have no idea. So, that's what you're facing. What did the scholars say? True meaning, deep and true meaning, reestablish the absolute meaning, clarify the true meaning, restore the original meaning, bring to its intended meaning. They all saw it. and they wrote it. And you know what's the cool thing? These writers who wrote these books and commentaries, they are the professors in the universities where all pastors go to get their degree before they go to a church and start to minister. So this is not done in a corner. You have to read these books. They all know. That's pretty cool. They figured this out because they looked at the underlying Greek language and noticed the verb is not in the passive voice but in the active voice. But now, let me say something about this. Let's say you have somebody that you're sharing with because they got an honest question. And you go through this overwhelming, and I've only done 10%, evidence about how this all works together, and that all Protestant Christianity scholarship concludes unanimously that this is what it means. They're all on board with our position, and they say, you know what, listen, I'm sorry, but it's just not within me to be able to take the next step. And that could happen. That could happen. So, as we leave this, I do want to share with you one thing. Something to consider. The millennial kingdom. If you were to ask the following. Let's go to Revelation. I think it's chapter 20. I don't think it's 21, but it's one of those two. Chapter 20. It says that you will rule and reign. Those who are in Christ will rule and reign for 1,000 years. If you look at the Greek words for rule and reign, it's talking about being in a position of authority judicially. That means that you may very well be in a position, such as a judge, in which you will be making rulings for nations and people from the Constitution of Israel, which is the Torah. And if you go to the prophets, you will see that they're constantly talking about the Torah will come forth out of Jerusalem. But let's not just stop there. Let's go to Zechariah 14, where he says that after the millennial kingdom starts, Gentile nations that do not go up to Jerusalem to worship at the Feast of Tabernacles will be immediately punished on the spot. That's what the prophet says. So, you are going to be a judge in some capacity, ruling out of Torah on nations and people. May I ask you this question? Have you even read it? Have you even read the Torah? Because that's what you'll be making your rulings from. And leave it at that. Maybe they'll actually consider, wow, maybe I should look at it. See what it says. I don't know. Just throwing that out there.